JD.
Apparently Baggy didn't like hanging out with us on Saturday night, so he moves back into uniform down into the clubhouse. Sean Berry, I think, had the respect of all the players, but this team really struggling offensively, and management felt like a change was needed.
He was, as Ed Wade said, a victim of circumstance. Wandy Rodriguez has won each of his last 3 starts. First Astros starter to do that this year, JD.
Yeah, really has a chance to finish the first half on a real positive note. You look at the numbers for his last 3 starts, 20 innings, a 2.03 ERA, 3 wins, 1 against the Giants, 1 against Milwaukee, and then last time out, 6 innings of 1-run baseball against the Pirates, a game in which he punched out 10 Pittsburgh hitters. Fastball command was outstanding, the curveball very good as well. So Wandy looking to finish on a strong note as we head towards the second half against the Redbirds this year. He's 1-1 with a 697 in 2 starts. Lifetime 4-10 against St. Louis, despite a fairly respectable 429 earned run average.
Blake Hawksworth will pitch for St. Louis today, and the Astros, who won last night 4-1, have had some good performances from the hitters on this homestand. Jeff Keppinger and company ready to go to work against the Redbirds in just a moment. Your Texas Ford dealers on the 2010 F-150. By Jack in the Box and by the Progressive Insurance Group. Well, this is the send-off game to the All-Star break as the Cardinals and Astros meet for the 3rd time this year in Houston. The 9th time overall. The Astros are 5-3 against St. Louis. Tony La Russa's batting order begins with Felipe Lopez. He's at third base. John Jay's in center field with Albert Pujols, the first baseman. Matt Holliday in left field. Nick Stavino at right field. Yadier Molina catcher. Tyler Green shortstop. Blake Hawksworth pitcher. Skip Schumacher second base. Wandy Rodriguez with the first pitch. And it is upstairs to the switch hitting Felipe Lopez. Ball 1 to a 271 hitter. Foul ball away. We lost our Saturday night partner, JD.
Yeah, how about that? Because we brought Baggy up here and we educated him a little bit on the game, and then we sent him on his merry way to be the hitting coach.
Wandy 35 and 25 at home.
So we congratulate Baggy, and we wish John very well. And just as we mentioned earlier, a victim of circumstances. Sean, a hard worker, had the respect of all the players, but going to make a little change. And I'm sure Jeff is excited to be back in uniform.
Several times over the last 6-7 years, the Astros have made coaching changes around the All-Star break. Sometimes a manager change. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ed Wade said in meeting with the media, "We know we're not the 27 Yankees, but we can get better offensively." 2-2 the count, and Wandy has really been pitching in a nice groove. And he gets a swing and a miss, a strikeout to open the game from Lopez.
The starting pitching has been so good lately, they've made the hitting look better. It's amazing when you pitch well and you score 2 runs, you go, boy, it's good timely hitting. When you don't pitch well and you score 2 runs, you go, this team can't score.
You are so right. Wandy gets a K, and now he moves along to a hot hitting center fielder, John Jay. 385, 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. 4 for 8 of this series, 10-game hitting streak for Jay. Jay takes ball 1. And once again, the center fielder, Colby Rasmus, is sitting this one out. He left Friday night's game with a tight right hamstring. You've just been passed on the all-time Astros strikeout list by Wandy.
Yep. Stop the game. You need to have a ceremony. Yeah, we were tied for 3rd among lefties. Now Wandy stands alone in 3rd place behind Mike Hampton and Bob Nepper.
2-1. Nepper with 946. And that for Wandy was number 732. The torch has been passed. JD just stood up and acknowledged him. I wonder if he'll get he didn't save the baseball. 2-2.
You would think. I imagine he lost sleep about that last night, contemplating this threshold in his career.
Has to get it out of the way from the first batter, though.
Yeah, I think the anxiety's gone. He can settle in.
Breaking ball, strike 3.
Let's strike them all out.
Albert Pujols is next. There was a rousing cheer last night when he struck out looking in the 9th against Matt Lindstrom.
Now, Wandy obviously taking the hill with a lot more confidence these days than he did, say, a month ago. He's rattled off 3 very good starts in a row, just 2 earned runs allowed over his last 3 ball games. Off to a great start here today. Good life on the heater and a crackling curveball so far.
Pujols takes the heater, and it's ball 1 to Albert, who's 2nd in the league in total bases. He has 21 homers, 64 runs batted in, a .307 average, 4 for 8 in this series. That's a strike. It's 1-1. Andy Fletcher's calling the pitches today. Pujols hit a long home run in the 9th inning in the 8-0 win for the Cardinals Friday night. 1-2.
Wandy breaks out the straight changeup.
We get the Jaguar key matchup brought to you by the 2011 Jaguar XJ. Pujols 8 for 36 against Wandy, .222 average.
That home run came earlier this year. But for the most part, Wandy has been able to shut the big guy down.
In Wandy's career, he's 4-10 against St. Louis. His ERA is 4.29. Pujols taps it foul. Wandy lost at St. Louis to Adam Wainwright back on April 12th, 5-0. Pujols hit the 2-run homer in that game. And Wandy beat Kyle Loesch in St. Louis on May 12th, 9-6. He gave up 4 earned runs in 6 innings in that one. Near the corner, 3-2.
Got a borderline call on strike 1 out there. This one just a little further off.
Matt Holliday on deck.
Curveball.
And Pujols hits it foul. Now that would be something if he could catch Albert looking the way Lindstrom did last night in the 9th inning. 2 at-bats in a row for Albert in this ballpark, caught looking. That would be something to mark down. He has really plagued the Astros. .317 lifetime. 38 homers, 100 runs batted in for Prince Albert against Houston pitching. Popped up. That'll work too as Lance Berkman gets underneath. And that's a 1-2-3 first for Lundy. Astros coming up in just a moment. Now the Astros come up against Blake Hawksworth with this lineup for Brad Mills. Michael Bourne leads it off in center field. It's Jeff Keppinger at second base. Lance Berkman plays first base with Carlos Lee in left field. Hunter Pence at right field is batting fifth, followed by Pedro Feliz at third base. Jason Castro the catcher. Angel Sanchez at shortstop. Wandy Rodriguez the pitcher.
Right-hander Blake Hawksworth takes the start for today, or for the Cardinals today. It's his fifth start in 2010, working primarily out of the bullpen. Injuries have forced him into the rotation. He's pitched pretty well in this role. He's a starting pitcher throughout his minor league career. Worked out of the pen for the Cardinals last year. Was effective.
Michael Bourne shows bunt, and he's ahead in the count 2-0.
Hawksworth fastball, curveball, slider, and a straight change.
He's inside to Michael Bourne, 3-0. This is his fifth start of the year. Last time out in Colorado, we got a no decision, giving up 8 hits and 2 runs in 5 innings. There's the way the Cardinals are aligned on the infield. With the third Sacker Lopez in on the grass. Strike to Bourne, and it's 3 balls, 1 strike to Michael, who heads for Anaheim. And his first ever All-Star berth. He's hitting .206 in July. 1 for 8 in this series. And he's aboard with a walk. His 35th of the year. That's 20 walks in 48 innings for Hawksworth. He was born in British Columbia, North Vancouver.
That's just north of Vancouver a little bit.
Okay. See how he is out of the stretch, working to Jeff Keppinger, who's hit a couple of home runs on this homestand. 3 for the season, 31 runs driven in, a .279 batting average. He turned on 1 from Jeff Suppan last night in the 5th inning. He also had a double last night. Bourne, who leads the league in steals with 28, attracts the throw. Now, the Cardinals, though, have done a job on the Astros running game. Houston with 1 steal in 4 attempts. Michael's been thrown out a couple of times by Yadier Molina this season.
It was close to a balk move there by Hawksworth. First one looked to me like he may have just spun in front of the rubber as opposed to stepping off.
Mike Everett is the first base umpire for this game.
If you're going to try any trickery out there, it's the time to do it when Bourne's the base runner.
Strike, and Keppinger is down to the count 0-1.
Dutifully taking that first pitch, trying to work his way into a favorable count, give Michael Bourne a chance to steal, but You know what he's thinking as he steps out of there. Oh, my goodness, I'd like to have that one back.
Jeff's hitting .324 in July.
Such is the plight of the two-hole hitter.
Yeah.
And the guy who takes the job seriously anyway. Some guys just go up there hacking. But he's up there taking pitches. You're giving Michael a chance to steal, and he's looked at 2 very hittable fastballs. He's a good 2-strike hitter, though.
Way outside, and it's 1-2. Keppinger was telling me the other night when they called the balk on Roy Oswalt, he said that the opposing team's first base coach was urging the umpire over there that Roy was balking a couple pitches before that balk call. So sometimes that thought is planted, even though I don't think he called the balk, but it was called by the third base umpire. But sometimes the opposing team plants that thought with the umpires. There you have the stolen base race, and Michael has an 8-steal lead over McCutchen and Morgan.
And essentially what you're doing is asking the umpire to focus on, hey, he might be balking there. I don't think he's coming to a complete stop. You know, take a look, see what you think.
Now 2-2. And Keppinger's had a really nice season up to this point. This could be the Astros' best homestand. They're 4-1 so far, and they've pitched well. They are 19-13 within the division. Brad Mills' club has a winning record since the end of May, 19-18. Big chop over the poles into right field. Thorne to third base. What a great at bat for Keppinger. Got behind in the count 0-2. Worked it back to 2-2 and then hit a high chopper into right.
Good approach and a little luck, and it all adds up to a first and third situation. Keppinger taking pitches initially, giving Michael a chance to steal if he felt like he could get a jump. So he had to work from behind in the count, and with 2 strikes, hits that ball. It's almost in Yadier Molina's glove. He beats it on the ground, high chopper just beyond the reach of Pujols, and Michael Bourne could have run backwards into third base there.
Now it's Lance Berkman with runners on at the corners and nobody out. .252 for Lance, 12 homers, 43 runs batted in. 1 for 5 in this series. Cardinals stopped his 5-game hitting streak last night. Strike 1 for Hawksworth. This is his first career start against the Astros. He's pitched 4 times against them in relief, a total of 4 innings, allowing 1 hit, no runs. Hawksworth pitched 30 times last year for the Redbirds, and he was 4-0 with a 2.03 earned run average. In tight to Berkman, and it's 1-1 to Lance.
Cardinals this weekend have been trying to pound Lance in. Especially the guys with good fastballs anyway. A little tougher for a guy like Suppan who started last night's game, but the guys with a little giddy up on the heater have been trying to work hard in on Lance with the fastball.
That went out over the plate a little bit, and that's justified to try to come in on him because he's been hitting that Crawford box area with home runs lately. 5 homers in the last 6 games. It's 1-2. He thought they were cheering for him, but they put "let's make some noise" up on the scoreboard. Carlos Lee on deck. The big hole through the left side of the infield, the way the Cardinals are playing the shortstop up the middle. Green. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, we had Jeff on with us last night. Matt Holliday was hitting a situation with a man on third base, and Jeff was saying, you know, Holliday, he gets paid to drive in runs, so he's in swing mode. He's going to swing throughout this at bat. A guy like Berkman, a little bit different animal. He has such good strike zone judgment. He'll take his walks regardless of the situation.
Now 3-2.
If you're thinking as a pitcher, well, it's an RBI opportunity there, so Berkman's going to be willing to go out of the zone to try to drive that run in. And he's got a pretty good chance of walking and loading the bases up for Alcobayo. critical pitch here in the early going.
Berkman steps out. Hawksworth in his career has won 6 and lost 5 as a major leaguer. His ERA 3.58. Berkman strikes out. He really chased one for out number 1.
Just a good change up there by Hawksworth. Because they've been working him hard in with a lot of fastballs, I think Lance was guessing fastball there. Felt like they were probably going to try to crowd him with a heater, so he gets the bat started early and just can't get a piece of that changeup to stay alive. Good pitch. Really well executed.
Carlos Lee is grounded into 12 double plays, 238, 12 homers, 44 runs batted in, 1 for 7, but he beat the rap on a double play last night. That was one of the keys to the Astros' 4-1 win on a grounder up the middle. They strike 1 to him. He has 2 hits and 29 at bats this season against the Cardinals, but when he beat that relay with Green tossing to Schumacher to force Berkman last night, then what ensued was a 3-run Astro first inning. Oh, there was a pitch to swing at, and he did, and foul tipped it. No balls, 2 strikes.
Hawksworth throwing 93 miles an hour with the fastball. Pretty good running action. In last night's game, Jeff Suppan 86 to 88 for the most part with his fastball. So this guy's got a little more juice on that heater.
Foul away. Well, the Cardinals didn't lose any ground on the first place Reds last night. The Reds lost their 3rd straight in extra innings in Philadelphia. And St. Louis trails by 2. Hit hard off the glove of Green, and that'll score a run. Green unable to hold it, and Lee gets the Astros run number 1 home with Michael Bourne scoring it.
Well, certainly hit sharply enough where it could have been a double play had Green been able to flag it down. So 2 days in a row where the Cardinals had a chance to get out of the inning, but did not. This ball really well struck, though. This would have been a heck of a play. It's going to be a base hit for Carlos.
RBI number 45 for the big man.
Ozzie Smith probably would have had it. He doesn't play for the Cardinals anymore.
2 men on for Hunter Pence now. He really looked good at the plate last night. He drew a couple walks, then he had a double, worked the count deep. Each of those first 3 times at the plate. There's strike 1 to Hunter. 261, 12 homers, 39 driven in, 2 for 6 in the series. Hunter's on a 5-game hitting streak right now.
The Astros essentially won that game in the first inning last night, and big inning here. Might get it done too, the way Wandy's been pitching lately.
It certainly could. No balls, 2 strikes. The Cardinals pitching staff has done well with a 3.41 ERA this year. And Jeff Suppan last night gave up 4 runs in 4 2/3 innings after Adam Wainwright was brilliant Friday night. 8 innings of 6-hit shutout ball and an 8-0 win.
Timing is everything in this game. Astros miss Carpenter. They miss the rookie Jaime Garcia this weekend. Early on in the year, it seemed like they were catching everybody's ace or aces.
That's for sure. La Russa's club, 5 games over 500 right now. And thinking about changes. Polk on a line to right field. Stamina, and that's a hit. It goes away from him. Keppinger is being sent home. Here's a throw from Pujols. Not in time. Dave Clark sent Keppinger in with run number 2 after the ball got away from Stavinola and right. An RBI single for Hunter. 6-game hitting streak for him. That's RBI number 40.
And Had Stabenow stayed on his feet, played this ball on a hop, they would not have been able to score Jeff Keppinger because Kep had to wait to make sure it wasn't going to be caught. But he sold out, tried to make a play. Nothing wrong with that. And then a good aggressive send by Dave Clark, allowing Keppinger to score, just beating that relay from Pujols.
Now 2-0, and Pedro Feliz. He had an awfully big hit last night, a 2-run single in the first. There's strike one to him. He was 1 for 4. 223 for Pedro. 3 homers, 26 driven in. Bangs that one off his back foot. No balls, 2 strikes to Feliz. This is his 60th start at third base this year. In the last 4 starts, he's gone 6 for 17 with a homer and driven in 4. And that's coming off a 5 for 15 road trip, so he's been contributing. It's 1-2 as Hawksworth tries to negotiate his way through this first inning.
He's trying to throw that changeup away to the right-handed hitters a fair bit here in this inning, but with very little success. It's a very difficult pitch to command. Hasn't shown much of a breaking ball.
No, he hasn't. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Hawksworth making his 3rd start in the month of July. He went 6 innings against Milwaukee, gave up 3 runs, but that was a 4-1 loss to the Brewers by the Cardinals. Hawksworth, with that 4-0 record last year, had not lost in the majors until he allowed a 10th inning homer in relief against the Phillies earlier. And the Phillies have had the extra inning hits going those last 3 nights against the Reds. They have had the magic. They lead right now 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Matt Maloney on the mound for Cincinnati. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning. And it's a good changeup for a strikeout. 2 outs now.
And he made a little bit of adjustment there. Not overly concerned with trying to throw the ball on that outside corner. Just threw a good changeup over the plate and down. And really finished the pitch nicely. He kind of got out of whack with his delivery a little bit when trying to throw it off that outside corner.
Jason Castro, a 182 hitter with 1 homer and 1 RBI. Has this opportunity with a score 2-0 Houston to make it a big inning. That's called strike 1. Humberto Quintero did the catching last night. He contributed in that 3-run first with a run-producing single, going 1 for 4. Castro takes it, and the count evens at 1-1 with Sanchez on deck. This is Castro's 14th start since he came up from Round Rock. He was hitting .265 at AAA. 1-2. He's had a very good defensive impact on this club. He's thrown out 6 of 9. His catcher's ERA, and we can debate that for a while later on sometime, is very good, 3.41. Some people debunk that statistic, but things have gone well when he's been behind the dish.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's one of those stats that just needs further investigation usually. Yeah, because if I'm Eddie Perez and my job is to catch Greg Maddux every 5th day, I'm going to have a whale of a catcher's ERA.
Well, I think the credit is deserved with his catching of Wandy, because Wandy had been struggling before he started as Wandy's catcher, and all of his starts have been excellent. Little tap goes back to Hawksworth. Over to Pujols, and it's a 2-run Astros first. On 3 hits, they strand 2 and lead 2-0. Out the state of Texas. For more info on Chevy's commitment to youth baseball, visit ChevyTexasBaseball.com. The Astros lead 2-0. Wandy Rodriguez faces Matt Holliday. Fans watching the slugging left fielder settle into the box. He showed his slugging capabilities Friday night with a home run to left center. His 15th of the year. He has 48 driven in with a 300 average and 1 for 8 in this series. 1 ball, 1 strike to Holliday. Matt's 30 years old from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Fouls it back 1-2. So Pujols and Holliday both with excellent numbers at this stage of the season, but the Cardinals really are looking for more from their ball club than they're getting. Their offense is in the bottom half of the league. They've struggled defensively. Broken bat. It goes to the third baseman Feliz, who gets him out. Good distance for the barrel of the bat. It wound up past third base.
Yeah, that's fun for a pitcher. Get into a guy's kitchen like that. Break his weapon. It's kind of like in the movies, you know, the sword fight. You break the guy's sword and he's got nothing left.
Yeah.
Aha, I've got you now.
Down to a little stub. Then he reaches behind his back and pulls out that knife that he's been hiding. Nick Stavanoa is next. Houston-born player at 264 with 2 homers. Has driven in 7. Stavanoa takes ball 1, playing right field for the injured Ryan Ludwig. Nick was in the lineup last night. Went 1 for 3. And he pinch hit Friday night. It's 2-0. Ludwig and David Freese, the third baseman, are both expected back after the All-Star break. Maybe not immediately after.
Yeah, and Freese was playing well before he got hurt, having a nice rookie season. Ludwig, a solid contributor. Brendan Ryan, who had a pretty nice year last year, has really struggled. He's hitting below 200. Skip Schumacher hasn't done a whole lot offensively for the Cardinals this year. Molina is way down.
Capinger feels the roller.
2-0. Molina's going to the All-Star game. He might be the worst offensive player in the National League this year.
301 on base average, 291 slugging.
I believe the hitters that qualify, his on base plus slugging is the lowest in the league.
Well, he has one distinction. He's become the second catcher in Cardinals history to start back-to-back All-Star games since Walker Cooper in 1943 and 44. There's ball 1 to him.
Further evidence that the vote should be taken away from the fans. And there's a lot of evidence that says the vote should be taken away from the players and the manager. That's just a lot of bad picks every year for this All-Star team.
Well, Yachty will be playing on his 28th birthday on Tuesday night at the All-Star situation in Anaheim. 2 balls and a strike. Oh, very good time for him despite those modest numbers. It'll be his second straight All-Star start. Liner to left. Carlos Lee in. 6 straight. Set down by Wandy Rodriguez. 2-0 Astros. Sunday. Round Rock has Brian Bogusevic hitting .295 with 10 homers in a 38-52 season. Corpus Christi 0-15 to start the second half. Jack Shucks hitting .301. And you see the records of the other Astros minor league clubs.
One other name to point out, J.D. Martinez.
Yes.
The Lexington club had a 5-hit game earlier this week. He's hitting .358 with 13 home runs, 61 driven in.
He's a guy to watch. 2-0 to Angel Sanchez with a .200 batting average, trying to get aboard for Wandy Rodriguez here in the second. That's a strike after Hawksworth had a 35-pitch first inning, throwing first pitch strikes to 6 of 7 batters. He's trying to have a much quicker frame here. Liner into left center. Sanchez has hit his way on with hit number 4 for the Astros.
Fastball moving in a little bit on Sanchez, but able to fight it off. Hawksworth's going to have to come up with something besides this fastball changeup, I would think, to be successful. Break out a slider, a curveball. And you look at the profile on him, you can see the breakdown of pitches. He does tend to throw a lot of fastballs. And when you're working out of the bullpen, it's probably okay. But as a starter, to work your way around a lineup 2 or 3 times, you're going to show a little wrinkle, I would think.
Wandy puts the butt down toward the pitcher. And the sacrifice is his 4th of the year. Sanchez to second, 1 out. Astros trying to get that runner around with Michael Bourne batting. He walked and scored in the first. Well, Michael, who's Anaheim bound, tries to help his RBI count of 20. Fly ball left field line, and Holiday comes over to get underneath it. 2 down for Hawksworth. Plenty of room for improvement for the Astros offensively. Ed Wade referred to that on the hitting coach change today before the game. The Astros are 15th in runs scored, 16th in total bases, 15th in homers. They are 16th in walks, 16th in slugging, 16th in on base average.
I'm not surprised that they're down. I figured they'd be down towards the bottom of the league offensively this year, but I didn't think they'd be this bad. So hopefully they can get things turned around in the second half.
Keppinger takes strike 1. He bounced a single over Albert Pujols' head into right field. Help get the Astros offense started in that first inning after Bourne had walked. Molina calling time here. And I was asking Brad Mills, are looking for a fundamental change for the hitters, and he said, well, not necessarily a fundamental change, but we have some things in mind that we think will lead to improvement. 1-1. We've talked about it with Jeff Bagwell up here on the Saturday home games. JD, the Astros ranking last in walks. Typically it is something that is very hard to expect a major league hitter to improve in walks as his career goes along. 2 Hopper to third. Lopez will make the tag on Sanchez, and he runs right into out number 3 with no runs, a hit, and a man left after 2. It's 2-0 Astros.
On Saturday, July 31st, 6:05 game against the Brewers. A testimony by Lance Berkman and a concert with Jars of Clay. Tickets start at just $7. Astros.com is the website.
Tyler Green, the batter. He took strike one, and now the next pitch from Wandy Rodriguez evens the count at 1-1 to Green, a .245 hitter with 2 homers, 6 runs batted in. He's hit in 5 of 7 games since calling up from Memphis, and it's a 2-ball 1-strike count now to Green.
And to go back to what you're talking about before the inning ended, Brownie, about the approach of the hitters. I just don't think. I mean, I think you either have players that walk, you have players that don't walk. And for the most part, this club doesn't have guys who have walked much throughout their careers, aside from Lance Berkman. So I don't think that's going to change. I think the real value in adding Jeff Bagwell to the staff is what lies down the road.
Strike 3 call.
Because of what Jeff's work with the minor leaguers over the past few seasons. As those guys come to the big leagues, there's going to be a little bit of a history. Jeff's going to know their swing. He's going to know their approach, and they're going to be comfortable with him. That is the money pitch.
You know it. Now Hawksworth, the pitcher, takes strike 1. Hawksworth is 0 for 8. We've talked about this pitcher batting 8th thing a lot over the few years that Tony La Russa has been doing, and I'm still not a big fan of this. It worked in certain situations.
I think you'd have to run the numbers for all the games that they've had the pitcher hit 8th. You know, the idea is to have a legitimate, quote unquote, legitimate hitter in the 9-hole, so that it provides more opportunities for Albert Pujols. So you got Albert hitting in the 3-hole. So you've got 2 hitters ahead of them. Then as the lineup turns over, you've got 3 legitimate hitters between the pitcher and Pujols. And my guess is Tony's got some kind of evidence. They've run some numbers that shows he does get more at bats with runners on base when he's got his pitcher in the 8-hole.
Well, he's a very smart man. That's strikeout number 4. He has his reasons, and that's the fun part of baseball. Debating things like that. That's a very interesting call to bat the pitcher 8th. But not everybody ascribes to that theory. That's 8 straight retired by Wandy, and now it's Schumacher batting, .257 with 2 homers, 20 runs batted in for Skip.
And maybe it makes sense to Tony. Because his offense is so reliant on Pujols. He's such a big part of it for them.
One ball, 1 strike. Well, the Cardinals were out of the gate in April looking like what many people expected them to be this year. It has not gone well for them since April ended. They were 15-8 that month. 1-2, but 15-14 in May, 13-13 in June, and so they have actually played under 500 ball since the end of the first month.
Pitching really carried them, and they've had some injuries. Brad Penny got out of the gates really pitching well, but he's only made 9 starts. He's been on the DL for quite some time now. And Kyle Loesch is on the 60-day DL.
That guy's not on the DL. Curveball, top foul. Well, they're debating changes, of course. Every team's thinking about different things right now with that trade deadline, the non-waiver trade deadline coming up at the end of July. And General Manager John Mozeliak has talked about perhaps adding a player or 2. Swing and a miss. That is some kind of first 3 innings for Wandy Rodriguez. He strikes out the side of the 3rd to give him 5. 9 up, 9 down. Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Chevy. And by Salt, in theaters July 23rd. Jeff Bagwell joins us here in the bottom of the third inning. The Astros off to a good start, 2-0. Thanks for coming up, Baggy. And we know you'll be addressing the media after the game today about your new position as Astros hitting coach. And of course, you did not let on last night, the true professional that you were. And I know you want to say something about Sean Berry. We've talked about Sean, and what a hard worker he was.
No, he was amazing. And I just got off the phone with Sean a little while ago, and truthfully, this was a huge part of my decision that I felt terrible about it, because I really do think he does a tremendous job with our hitters. So prepared. He works so hard at what he does. And for me to take it, it was tough. You know, Ed and I talked about it. You know, it was about 4 days ago, and you know, it's just a decision I had to make with my family and what was going to go on with the team. You know, we've been struggling, and you know, that's the trend in this game nowadays is they generally don't fire the managers, which I'm not saying obviously, Millsy, that they should have, but it's that sometimes the hitting coach or the pitching coach takes the fall for it, and that was what's going to happen. And as I talked to Sean this afternoon, I told him. I said, you know what's going to happen? And he said, what's that? I said, you know, Lance and Carlos are going to start hitting, and all of a sudden I'm going to look good. I said, but I promise you I will give you all the credit.
Well, he deserves a lot of credit. He's been through a lot. And last year, tough year for him with his health, but that's the main thing. He is back in good health again.
He is, and he has an opportunity to stay with our organization now, which I think is great, and hopefully they can find a spot for him, because, you know, there's good people in baseball, and Sean Berry is one of them.
Berkman has a shot at a hit here. Lopez with a throw. Infield hit for Berkman.
Well, you can't teach that.
No, I was talking to Lance about that today before we started the game. I said, why don't you try and really get jammed and hit one down the third baseline.
Hit one with your thumbs and run as hard as you can.
Exactly right.
So, but conversely, now if you take over the job, as you will take over the job, and if Lance and Carlos don't hit, you'll be calling Sean back sometime in September. Hey, buddy,
I will.
Trade.
Yeah, I will be, and I'll be giving him my resignation right at the end of the year.
Well, I didn't know, for one, if you were ready, because now, you know, you're not that far removed from playing days, and you've enjoyed being with the girls so much, and of course, Erica. So now you're back to traveling again. I wasn't sure you were ready for that.
No, actually, it's time for me to do something. It's been 5 years since I've been out of the game, and you know, it's tough sometimes when you get out and you've played a long time. And fortunately, I've been able to not have to do something, but to find kind of a niche in your life. And I've been having kind of a tough time the last couple of years, and push came to shove now, and it's time for me to do something. And there's only a few things I know. I certainly don't want you guys' job, but there's one thing I do know a little bit about, and that's playing baseball and hitting a little bit.
That's funny. I remember when Mike Scott retired and asked him what he was going to do, and he had a talk with John McMullen, and Max said you got to have problems. You got to wake up in the morning with something to do, something to work on. Scotty's the rare breed that really has not had to do that. He's managed to.
Well, his only concern with Scotty is how low his handicap can get. But with a bum shoulder, it's kind of hard for that one.
Yeah. Hunter Pence takes ball one. Well, obviously, you know, this kind of a change is never welcome in an organization, especially because of our feelings for Sean. But we're delighted to get you back in uniform again, and. You know, we're going to miss the Saturday night thing, though, because the Astros had a great record with you up here on Saturday.
Did they really?
Yeah. Tyler Green handcuffed a little bit, and that makes the whole play develop late, and Hunter Pence is safe at first.
That's how it started last night, guys.
Yep.
Well, you know what we could do? We could just throw a headset on Baggy on Saturday nights and just do 9 innings from the dugout.
Hey, let me tell you something. That's inside the box. That's like the Gexo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We could try that, Jimmy. I mean, I'm all for it.
Well, we're all for it.
It's going to be interesting, you know, for me, because I've always known this playing is coaches put in a heck of a lot more work than the players do. It seems like they're there early, they're there late, and you know, now I'm going to have to deal with what, I don't know how many pitchers we have now. It's probably 14 guys instead of just dealing with about myself. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, you know, and Bob Gibson struggled as a pitching coach, and there's kind of a cliche around the game that great players have a hard time coaching because they don't understand what kind of average or, but you seem to have pretty good touch with guys and kind of get it.
Well,
I would say well to left center field, but not well enough. Can you stick around for another half inning? So
you got it, buddy.
Develop that. All right. In the third inning, no runs are hit, and a man left. 2-0 Astros.
Anderson Cancer Center making cancer history. 1985. Nolan Ryan strikes out Danny Uriah Heap. First player ever with 4,000 strikeouts. Billy Dorn had 5 hits and drove in the game winner.
Strike one as we get underway in the fourth inning. Wandy Rodriguez has set down the first 9 Cardinals. Felipe Lopez struck out to open the game. Jeff Bagwell joining us for another half inning, and he'll talk with the media after the game today about his new position as Astros hitting coach. Michael Bourne in center field, and you were telling us between innings something pretty interesting about how much you learn, and JD brought up the point about great hitters sometimes find it difficult to be good teachers because it came naturally to them.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm going to have a little bit of a problem with. I'm sure that I'm going to have to get over real quick, but I think what's really helped me in this role that I'm going to take is my last year, which was 2005 when I became a pinch hitter. I realize how difficult it is for guys that come off the bench that are only going to get 1 at bat, maybe 2 or 3 at bats.
There's a bunt hit. It looks like a quick flip to Wandy, safe at first.
That's as good as you can do it. Right
yes,
there.
It is. John Jay.
Yeah, we're tired of John Jay. He needs to go out of town. But that's my whole thing. Is I think that I have an appreciation for the guy that didn't play every day. And I think a lot of players don't have that. And I think that's part of the reason the catchers become such good managers in that, because they see different parts of the game that, and most catchers aren't great hitters, so they learn to struggle. They learn what other guys have to do. I'm referencing Brad Ausmus again. I got to make fun of Biz here at some point. But, but that's my feeling, is that I really have an appreciation for what guys go through, and it's not just the 9 guys that are out there; it's the rest of the guys. And I hope that helps me, and I hope I can convey that to the guys.
And at this level, how much of it is mechanical? How much of it is mental and preparation?
Line drive, Pujols. One hops to left field wall. Jay comes to third base, so Kendall stopping him there. Throw into second, and it's a long single for Prince Albert.
I mean, obviously there's tons of mechanical stuff that goes on with it, but as a big league hitter, and by the time you get here, you pretty much have to know yourself and how to fix yourself. Now, there are certain things, okay, you're drifting, you're going forward, or you're not getting started in time, or probably the biggest thing that happens here is your pitch selection. Takes you out of it at bat, doesn't give you a great chance to hit. So we're going to work a lot on being we're going to work a lot on being, competitive in the batter's box. And, and that's kind of the way I feel. I mean, I understand pulling off and all that kind of stuff, but
Holiday.
We talked about this at bat last night too, right? He's swinging, I promise you.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of going to be my philosophy, is to compete. We're going to do all our work early, just like Sean has done with everybody, and then once the game starts, then you got to compete.
Holiday with a drive to left field, headed toward the seats, and he hits a 3-run homer to give the Cardinals the lead. 3-2 St. Louis. Holiday with his second long ball of the series, number 16 of the year, giving him 51 runs batted in.
Well, it all starts with a 1-out drag bunt by John Jay to get things started. Wandy's really pitching well today, but just like that, a 3 spot goes up on the board, very much like the game the other night when Holiday hit the 3-run home run off Bud North. Bud was pitching a heck of a ball game. They're trying to go in with a fastball. He doesn't get all of it by any stretch of the imagination, but gets enough of it.
Yeah, like we talked about, he was swinging, and he that ball was in on his hands, but he's just so strong that he got it out of there.
But Baggy, also regarding taking this position, you've had a chance now to work with a lot of the Astros minor league hitters over the last couple of years and establish relationships with them, and that probably is another thing that helped convince you that this is something you might want to do.
Yeah, because I do, and I enjoy talking baseball. I do. People, like friends of mine, they're like, I know you don't want to talk about it. I'm like, no, I generally enjoy baseball. I mean, we've played it. I mean, this is what I know. I don't know anything else. So it's something that I enjoy, and I'm going to have to make some new relationships here because there's a lot of these guys that I really haven't spent too much time around. So it'll be fun for me.
1-2. Have you talked by chance to Mark McGwire about his work with the Cardinals this year?
No, I have not. I have not seen Mac on this trip. As you guys know, I show up at 5:15 and we do our little promo and we go from there, and I'm done by 9:05. So
guess what, pal? It's about to change.
Yeah,
this program is all gone.
Hey, I woke up this morning and I was sitting there going, golly, do I know what I'm getting myself into right here?
You may not.
No, because Millsy told me yesterday when I met with him, he said, the coaches like to get to the ballpark at around 12. I said, 12? Well, how many hours is that? But that's all good. So, I mean, as Ed said when I left, I'm all in. So I'm going to try and have a lot of fun in 2.5 months here.
That's the only way to do it. Go all in. So 2.5 months, is this the way you're looking at it just for the end of this season, and then we'll see what happens?
That's exactly the way I'm looking at it. We talked about my kids, and that's a big thing, and my wife also is. They weren't used to me playing. They didn't really see me play and be gone for 10 or 14 days or 7, and going back and forth or leaving early. They're used to me being there after school, picking them up in carpool, taking them to soccer, piano. I mean, you can go every season, and I do all that, and I truly enjoy that. So it's going to be a big step for me not to be there for a month or a month and a half of that. So. I'm just taking this, I'd say one day at a time. That's a baseball cliche, but I'm looking at it 2.5 months at a time.
Try it on and see how it fits.
Exactly right.
Interesting, too, how things can work out sometimes. As J.D. pointed out, the pitching has been better this homestand. That makes the hitting look better, too, when the team is winning.
Every single time. If you win 2-1, you know what? It was such a clutch hit. Or last night, we won 4-1, and, Carlos beat out that ball, and Feliz had that nice two-run single or double. I forget which it was, a double or single. Yeah, it was single. So great pitching makes everybody look a little bit better.
Popped up. Sanchez calling. 2 down.
So you're just going to work and you got the All-Star break. How about that? You got a vacation.
My God, I'm tired, man.
About time.
I'm tired.
What a grind it's been, huh?
It's unbelievable.
I need 3 days off to Cabo or something for a couple days.
I need 4 days off, no doubt.
Now Molina, the batter, after an 11-pitch at bat for Stavanoa.
See, when I'm starting to work every day here, I guess we'll call it work, but you really don't have to bring up Cabo. That kind of takes the sting out of everything.
Yeah, it does.
Cabo, Pittsburgh. Aspen,
right?
Milwaukee.
Great destination spots. No balls, 2 strikes.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm excited about it.
Hey, it's in your blood.
It is. It's what It's what I do, I guess.
One and 2 now.
Yeah, it's a shame right there too, because Wandy didn't make a bad pitch. Made a good pitch. But Minute Maid Park will giveth and taketh away.
Yes, it will.
And it's interesting, Wandy stopped his delivery there with Molina asking for help, but he had not been granted help. I think Wandy could have gone ahead and finished his delivery.
Liner left field corner. Molina has one in play. And he'll head for second base. The ball kicks back toward the infield. A double for Molina, his 10th.
Yeah, I wish he had continued his delivery, JD.
Yeah, because the home plate umpire didn't really grant the timeout until Wandy stopped his delivery. Here it is. Wandy's in his windup. Yachty's out. He's not going to get it, but Wandy stopped.
No, he for sure wasn't going to get it right there. No.
And that's just reaction by the pitcher. What happens? You see the guy stepping out, and it just kind of throws you. It's tough to go ahead and finish that pitch.
Well, the inning started with 1 out and that bunt single, and that quite often is the beginning of something much bigger, something little offensively. So Jay made a smart play to bunt his way on and get things rolling. Now Green will get the intentional walk to bring up the pitcher Hawksworth. Where do you stand on the pitcher batting age, Jeff?
Wow. I'll tell you, for me, if the pitcher's going to bat 8th, then the guy that's hitting 9th has got to be able to steal bases. And can move around a little bit. Know that you're giving up an out on the 8th spot generally when you've had your 5th and 6th and 7th hitter who are generally pretty good hitters and are going to have a chance to be on base. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the 7 guy probably doesn't like it a whole lot with the pitcher batting behind him.
No, I'm sure. But I also understand the point is you really only lead off once. So I don't know.
Yep. Now Hawksworth struck out in the 3rd inning. Gives Wandy a chance to get out of the inning here with the pitcher batting 8th, so that's a little different the way it sets up.
Well, yeah, and that's how you look at it now. You got Hawksworth up instead of having Schumacher up, or whoever's going to be his 8th hitter. I haven't heard a lot of it, but I would certainly like to hear Tony's explanation exactly how he thinks about it. I mean, he's a lot smarter than I am as far as managing and all that. So,
and the way I've heard it explained over the years is he's just looking for extra RBI opportunities for Albert.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Lee's in to play it. And thanks to Jeff Bagwell for joining us, and our best wishes for a great job as hitting coach.
Thanks, guys. See if we can get me in the every Saturday in the dugout.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
All right.
Maybe we'll get it sponsored.
number 7, appeared 7 times. Lance Berkman at 5 All-Star appearances so far in his career. Cesar Cedeno and Jeff Bagwell with 4. And 3 selections went to Mike Scott, Billy Wagner, and Roy Oswalt. And Jeff Bagwell will be donning that number 5, which has been retired, as you know, as he goes back into uniform for the second half of the season. The Astros will have a workout in Pittsburgh, and he'll be wearing that number 5 in Pittsburgh Thursday night.
A chapter in his career, and you can tell talking to him he's very excited about this opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You know, you get out of the game, and guys like Jeff, of course, have made, you know, plenty of money to live on for the rest of their lives and then some, but you still have to have something that gets you excited.
Fouled away by Castro. He's seen a change up in a fastball, and it's 0-2 for Hawksworth, who now is in front in this game, 3-2. Sanchez and Rodriguez to follow. The Mets are shutting out Atlanta 2-0, bottom of the 6th inning. Johan Santana on the mound. Ike Davis hit his 11th homer. Braves have been moving out in front of the Mets the last few days. That one almost clipped in minutes 1 and 2 to Castro.
Derek Lowe for the Atlanta Braves today, and Jason Hayward made it official. He will not participate in the All-Star game. An injured thumb. Hung-Chi Kuo will, however. The reliever for the Dodgers has been added.
Interesting.
We're getting a pretty good club of guys who can't go.
Yeah.
You know, they may be actually be better than the guys that are there when all is said and done. A lot of banged up, nicked up guys right now.
Bad. 3-2. Well, in Hayward's case, of course, for the Braves in first place, and they have a 5-game lead right now over the New York Mets. He's concerned with being available to help his club after the All-Star break.
Pretty good feeling he's going to make a few of those All-Star teams before all is said and done.
True. 3-2 coming here to Castro. This fly ball heads for right field. Stabenoa moving over. 1 out.
Just down in front of that changeup a little bit.
Sanchez next. He opened the 2nd inning for the Astros with a hit to left center. Minnesota 4, Detroit 2. They've played 7 in the Motor City. And the Twins are currently 4 games back of the Tigers. There's strike 1. Minnesota has gone into a 4-game losing streak, while the Tigers have won 5 in a row.
White Sox remain red hot. They've won 7 in a row, 8 of 10, just a half a game behind the Tigers. Bad news for them this week. Jake Peavy out for the year.
A lot of folks are expecting them to make a deal for a starting pitcher now based on that loss.
They might be on Roy Oswalt's trail here.
Dan Herron is another who could be going somewhere. There certainly are others as well. Still 0-2.
I think clubs would inquire about Wandy. I think they'd take a run at Brett Myers from this club.
Well, Myers continued to look sharp with his outing last night. And he's had a very solid first half of the year. Only pitcher in Major League Baseball to go 6 innings or more in all of his starts, 18 of them. Five pitches last night. He wanted to finish, but Matt Lindstrom had not pitched in a few days, and that was the reason Lindstrom came in to finish off the 4-1 win. Myers was joking after the game about wanting to go out to the mound, race the skipper Brad Mills out there and take the mound, even though he had been told he was gone from the game. Rolled out to shortstop. Tyler Green gets Sanchez. 2 down.
Hey, how about the 10 Astro games for only $20? For a limited time, you can score an outfield deck seat to 10 select Astros games, and it'll cost you just $20. That's a good deal. It's $2 a game. Do the math. 20 games divided by 10. That's $2 a game, and it's saving you $50 per plan. You kids, you know, I know school's out, but do the math. Get your pencil and paper out, grind it out, and then take it to mom and dad. Say, look at this deal. I promise I'll only have one cheeseburger, one ice cream cone.
Exactly.
And one frozen lemonade and one nacho.
Ball 1 to Wandy. Put down a sac bunt earlier. Moves back from that one. 2 balls, no strikes. Red Sox lead the Blue Jays 3-2 at Toronto. They're in the middle of the 8th inning already there. Matsuzaka started and went 6 for Boston. Strike call makes it 2 balls, 1 strike to Wandy, who has 8 hits this season. Aaron Hill hit his 12th home run for the Blue Jays. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big Papi hit number 18. Big Papi says the Blue Jays top home run hitter ought to be in that home run hitting contest. Jose Bautista has not been invited apparently. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's a full count to Wandy. Hawksworth, after expending 35 pitches in the first inning, needed only 9 in the second. Getting back on track. Now he's at 72 for the game. And he lost him. A 2-out walk to the pitcher. Number 2 of the game.
Dave Duncan probably over there in that Cardinal dugout scratching his head. Come on, man. 2 out, nobody on. The opposing pitcher up there. Don't cash it in already. Don't put yourself in that dugout before you've got the 3rd out.
There's that team of La Russa and Duncan that have been together for so many years. Michael Bourne trying to reach here. He's walked and scored, and he's flied to left. Bourne looks at strike 1. Cappinger's on deck with a 3rd baseman in tight, Lopez.
Major League managers are an interesting breed when you watch a game because you think about football and basketball and hockey. So much of it is emotion and rallying the troops on the sideline, and football they're always throwing a headset down, screaming at somebody. Baseball, it's always just a glare, just concentrating, looking for any advantage, sizing up the situation.
Molina and Hawksworth talking over at the mound. Hawksworth saying before the game that anytime he gets to start, it's exciting. Said he hadn't had a whole lot of time to look at tape and prepare, but called the Astros a good lineup. And now he takes a little walk before throwing this 2-1 pitch to Bourne. Bourne bounces 1 to second. Schumacher with the toss to Green for the force play on Rodriguez. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded through 4. It's 3-2 Redbirds. Ford dealers, by AT&T, and by Gallo Automotive. 3-2 Cardinals. The Astros have out-hit St. Louis 5-4. No errors in the game. We begin inning number 5 with the number 9 hitter, Skip Schumacher. In this case, pretty good man to have leading off an inning. He bangs it out of play. Strike 1 to Schumacher, who struck out in the 3rd. Schumacher this year doesn't have the kind of on-base average he did a year ago. Wandy with a good play. Keeps him off base here for out number 1.
Well, hopefully the Astros can come back and score some runs in this game, because Wandy has really pitched well. It's on one little blip last inning, and even at that, he was making very good pitches. The way he started this game, looked like he was going to throw a 2-hit shutout.
Felipe Lopez was his first victim. That was on a strikeout in the 1st. Then he hit a fly ball to center in the 4th. Lopez takes a look at it. It's strike 1. Tony La Russa deems the Reds to be a serious threat. And another strike makes it 0-2. He says the Reds are solid. They've got solid starting pitching. Their bullpen is pitching well now, and they're catching the ball well. They've got enough guys having good offensive seasons.
Nobody in the league's having a better year than Joey Votto.
Oh, wow. What a year. 1-2. And John Mozeliak, the Cardinals general manager, says when you think about our clubhouse personality, you think businesslike. I would use the word professional.
Whoop. Slipped away.
Yeah. Mozeliak says, I think we could use a true icebreaker at times. I think sometimes a level of tension develops. You play 162 games with the same group of guys. Sometimes you have to be able to take a step back.
Sounds to me like he's calling out the manager on that one. Tony, that's a reputation. Tony is very intense.
2 outs.
And that's, people, it's become a sports cliche. It's so-and-so's team. It's somebody. Generally in Major League Baseball, I think it's the manager's team. The manager sets the tone. And certainly in a case like Russo, with his reputation and his history, he's the guy that sets the tone in that Cardinal clubhouse.
Well, Mozeliak said he wasn't placing a negative connotation to chemistry issues, but talked about Mark DeRosa, what he did when he arrived last year from Cleveland. Even though he had to have surgery, it was his influence that Mozeliak liked. Jay takes a strike. But La Russa talked about, he says, you've got to be careful about using that term chemistry. That one goes foul. And he said, a lot of times guys fool fans and the media by putting themselves front and center when in some cases their teammates hide from them, as far as using that term chemistry for players and how they might change the mix. And La Russa said comments could get misunderstood. People can write about it, talk about it in a way that becomes very negative and inaccurate. And he thinks Mo, the general manager's point is this clubhouse is quiet.
I love the Jim Leland school. Chemistry is a class they teach in high school.
Capicher recovers the bobble and throws out Jay. And in the 5th, Wandy is back on the beam, but trails 3-2.
Adult ticket you purchased in the outfield or view deck sections. You can get up to 2 free kids tickets for 14 and under. Let's watch this base hit go up the middle first.
Cappinger gets it. He's 2 for 3.
No, rephrase that. Now, for every full price adult ticket you purchase in the outfield or view deck sections, you'll get up to 2 free tickets for kids 14 years of age and under. You will not get 2 free kids.
No?
No. You get 2 free tickets, kids 14 of age and under. And don't forget about the Kids Passport program. Kids will earn rewards like a frequent flyer program by coming to the ballpark. Information and tickets are available at Astros.com. This kid, you could probably have that one there for, I don't know, $10-20.
Auctioning off kids today. After the Cappinger single, Berkman comes up. He's 1 for 2. An infield hit to third. At strike 1 to Lance as the Astros trail by 1, and they have out hit the Cardinals 6-4. All 6 of the Astros hits have been singles.
And so far, Blake Hawksworth has proven me wrong. I didn't think he could survive essentially being a 2-pitch pitcher, but he has. Fastball changeup. Pretty much all he's featured this afternoon.
Berkman slashes one into right. Cappinger gets to second base. And went under the glove of Schumacher. Hit hard, and Lance is 2 for 3.
One time Lance got a changeup, stayed back, hit it hard. Soft hit last time, nothing soft about this one. The Astros in pretty good shape here, first and second, nobody out.
Now an opportunity with Carlos Lee batting, 2 on, nobody out. Lee is 1 for 2, an RBI single. This one goes over first base, foul. Pujols hustling over, will not get a play on it. There is some stirring in the Cardinal bullpen right now. 81 pitches so far for Hawksworth. Hawksworth has thrown 17 of 22 first pitch strikes. And he typically has gone 5 innings in his starts. He did go 6 against Milwaukee back on July 1st. Liner to left, Holiday in, and he slides and makes the catch. After some hesitation, he did get there for out number 1.
And it looked like he got caught in between. Initially going to play it on a hop, and then he said, wait a minute, I got a chance to make a play here. And he closed on it and was able to make the play. Hawksworth got away with a hanging changeup.
Holiday got there, and that's a very big out for Hawksworth. With Hunter Pence batting now, 1 for 2, an RBI single to right. Second time through the order, not as good against Hawksworth. The third time, 353. This is the third time, and maybe the lack of that breaking ball is what has been catching up with him in those other starts too.
Yeah, I would think that'd be a big piece of it. Closest we've seen to a Brady. Throw a little cut fastball on occasion, but no curveball, no real true slider. But he throws hard, and he does get good movement on his fastball.
High chop, brings the pitcher in. Out at first. Cappinger third, Berkman second. 2 outs for Feliz now.
Sometimes watching a guy like Hawksworth have success can really prove beneficial to other pitchers. To realize you don't have to have that many different pitches, and you have a tendency to overthink it sometimes. Have a couple of pitches that you can command, and you got enough life on your fastball. You got a chance to survive, if not thrive, at the big league level.
Pedro Feliz with Jason Castro on deck comes up with runners at second and third. Feliz is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball to left. Bouncer to second. And on one pitch, a very important out comes Hawksworth's way as he strands runners at second and third. The Astros now have left 7. Rodriguez pitch location. And on the strikeouts, there's a good breaking ball down and in. The Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Painting that outside corner to Green, then the breaking ball down and in on the righty, then the sweeping breaking pitch to Schumacher. He drops that arm angle every now and then on a left-handed hitter. Came out guns a-blazing, retiring 9 in a row, 5 by punch-out.
Albert Pujols looks at ball one. He singled as a part of that 4th inning 3-run rally. Hard single, one hopping the scoreboard wall. He's 1 for 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Pujols. 3-time MVP. 2-1. Three balls and a strike.
Albert is so quick. You know, he stays back and he sees the ball really well. It can be very frustrating for a pitcher because you get the sense he knows what's coming every pitch. But I think it's just because he is so quick, he's not caught out off balance on the front foot very often.
Coors Light Cold Hard Blast shows you a Matt Holliday home run in the 4th inning, a 3-run shot.
Well, they were trying to go in, and they did get it in there a little bit. They didn't get every bit of it, but the pitch elevated. Able to keep it fair down the third base line.
Holliday earlier grounded out. Now he pops one back, foul out of play.
Wandy right at 90 pitches, 2/3 of them strikes, very similar to his last outing. If you're looking for reasons to be optimistic about the second half, I would say the performance of Wandy lately certainly won all the starters. Myers is done, Oswalt. Now Wandy hitting his stride. You got 3 veteran pitchers that look like they're shaping up to pitch well in the second half.
1 and 2.
And then, of course, so much about the second half of this year is going to be about the future. So we'll, continue to watch Norris develop and Paulino coming off the DL soon.
Paulino will pitch Tuesday on a rehab assignment for Corpus Christi. And the plan is to put him back in the rotation. Holliday's down on strikes. 6th strikeout for Wandy.
Wandy responding after Holliday took him deep last time. He's carving him up, finishing him off with a high heater.
Nick Stavinoa is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and popped up. Strike 1. Astros pitching has been good in July. 2.61 staff ERA for the few games of this month so far. Only a 209 batting average for Astros opponents. Bouncer. There's the feed to Sanchez. 1-6-3 double play. And the Astros get their 81st of the year to keep it close. 3-2 St. Louis. Is the question from AT&T. Who was the last Cardinal player to hit a home run in an All-Star game? Bill Cousins knows. We've been briefed on this, JD.
Oh, okay. Is he currently in uniform?
No.
Okay.
He was a switch hitter, though. Outfielder.
Willie McGee?
No. Good guess. He played also for the Dodgers. Remembered probably more as a Dodger than a Cardinals. Jason Castro looks at ball one. Castro is grounded back to the pitcher and hit a fly ball to right. Good, powerful, switch hitting outfielder. 1 ball and 1 strike for Hawksworth, who now has thrown 88 pitches, so he could be on borrowed time, but there's nobody warming up at the moment. He's due up third in the 7th inning.
There was action earlier in the Cardinal pen, so they probably got somebody close enough, and if he gets in any trouble, there's all kinds of ways to buy time.
And now somebody's up. Sanchez to follow. McClelland is up at the moment. Fouled away, and it's 2-2.
He's playing a little light catch down there. No sense of urgency. That's important for a relief pitcher. You got to know how to save those bullets. You don't get all cranked up in a situation that you're not likely to get in. The manager and the pitching coach will monitor not just how many times a guy gets into the game, but how many times he gets up and gets ready to come in.
Big 3-2 pitch coming to Castro. And it's ball 4, leadoff walk.
And that would probably hasten things up for McClellan out there in the bullpen. I'm stymied.
All right, that's walk number 3. Here is the answer to AT&T's trivia question about the last Cardinal to hit a home run in an All-Star game. Reggie Smith.
Wow.
Going way back to 1974.
Yeah, you definitely do think of him as more of a Dodger than a Cardinal.
Angel Sanchez watches the throw go to first. Wandy Rodriguez on deck. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Astros trail by 1. Sanchez has one of their 7 hits. And then he bounced to shortstop his second time up. Madison Bumgarner of the Giants leads at Washington 5-0, bottom of the 7th. Ivan Hernandez started for Washington. The Giants begin the day 4 back in 4th place in the NL West. Colorado has moved to 1 game behind San Diego by winning 6 in a row and by beating San Diego twice in a row now. Bunted, and it goes foul. Castro moves pretty well for a catcher.
Yeah, he does. And one of the advantages he has over a number of other catchers is a guy you can play a little small ball with, bunt, and feel like you got a chance to move along the bases pretty well. Score from first on a double.
Lopez in tight at third. The bunt goes out toward Hawksworth with bare hands. Throws to Schumacher. 1 out on the sacrifice by Sanchez. Now Wandy's going to be called back for a pinch hitter, Jason Michaels. Rodriguez leaving after 6 innings. And it'll be considered a quality start for him. He allowed 4 hits, 3 runs, walking 2, fanning 6.
And he gave up that 3-run home run to Matt Holliday, and really, for my money, he pitched as well this start as he has in his last 3. Maybe even a little bit better. He was very good today. Bunt single, and then a solid line drive single by Pujols in advance of a Holliday home run. Other than that, not a whole lot going on for the Cardinals. Wilton Lopez will be next for the Astros, but Tony La Russa's got plans as well.
Now, he may have more than just a pitching change in mind. He goes to the home plate umpire Andy Fletcher. That would indicate a double switch. We'll see. Looks like the right fielder Stavino is coming in. He made the last out, so the pitcher probably goes into that 5 spot in the order. And with the new pitcher coming in for the bullpen, Tony also will get another right fielder out there.
Randy Wynn looks like coming out of the Cardinal dugout.
So Wynn goes into the 9 spot with a score 3-2. St. Louis goes into the 8 spot, rather. Back in a moment. Spinning changes now. Bring in Randy Wynn in right field. He's batting in the number 8 spot of the order for Tony La Russa. The pitcher's in the 5 spot. He's Kyle McClellan.
McClellan having a very nice year for the Cardinals. 2.21 ERA, awfully tough to hit. Batting average against him just 2.07.
Jason Michaels, the pinch hitter for Rodriguez, looks at ball 1, a breaking ball.
Right-handed hitters hitting .213 against him. Lefties $196, so no real advantage either way. You wouldn't want to burn Jason Michaels here for Brad Mills anyway, the way he's been swinging the bat. Give him a chance to drive in a run.
Yes, he has been swinging it well. It's 2 balls, no strikes to J. Mike. 245, and as a pinch hitter in his career, 227 with 6 homers. As one of those pinch homers this season, and he's 4 for 27 as a pinch hitter.
And Mills wouldn't have that option anyway. He doesn't have any left-handed bats on the bench.
The appeal went to first. Check swing call by Mike Everett, and it's 3-0. J. Mike works the count, and he has done that well lately. 13 for 38 his last 16 games with an at-bat. Strike makes it 3-1 to him. J. Mike's hitting .364 in July, 4 for 11, including a homer. Michael Bourne on deck. Now 3-2. McClellan pitched in the 8-0 win Friday night, finishing up that combined shutout for Adam Wainwright with a hitless frame. He's from Florissant, Missouri, a St. Louis suburb, 26 years old. Drafted by the Cardinals in 2002. Fly ball. And the center fielder Jay is in left center waiting for this one. 2 outs. Michael Bourne follows. Bourne is 0 for 2 with a walk. He scored a run in that Astros 2-run first. They have been shut out since then. Cardinal bullpen 10-14 with a 3.51 ERA. And they had some issues in that series at Coors Field before they got here. Michael looks at ball 1. McClellan did not face Bourne in the 9th inning Friday night.
Very important for Jason Castro to get a good aggressive secondary lead here out on second base. Want to give Dave Clark a chance to score you on a sharply hit ball to left. Any other base that he should score fairly easily, but it's that line drive to left that you have concerns with in this ballpark. Holiday with a strong arm out there in left field. Michael Bourne hits the ball to left field quite a bit.
2 balls and a strike to Houston native Michael Bourne, who is 1 for 5 in his career against McClellan. So a Houston native playing for the Astros goes against a St. Louis native playing for the Cardinals.
That would be a fun league if it was based on geography.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
I like the Astros' chances. Houston born, under the Texans, close to home. Southern California, they'd be tough too, but they've got so many teams out there that the talent pool will be divided.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bourne's hitting .300 this year with 2 outs and men in scoring position.
I'm not sure if anybody could beat the Dominican team, though. It'd be tough.
And Bourne strikes out on the sharp slider to end the 6th inning. McClellan puts out what might have been an uprising, but just a leadoff walk as it turns out. It's the first, but since then they have not been able to break through against Blake Hawksworth. Matt Holliday gave St. Louis a 3-2 lead with his 3-run homer in the 5th off Wandy Rodriguez, but nonetheless made it his 4th straight quality start, giving up 3 earned runs in 6 innings. Now the Astros try to come from behind, and in order to do that, they call on Wilton Lopez to put a stop on the Cardinals here in the 7th inning.
Only Brandon Lyon and Matt Lindstrom have pitched more in terms of games than Wilton Lopez for the Astros this year. He's out there for the 34th time. He's 3-0, ERA of 4.09. So that strikeout to walk ratio, outstanding. The Astros have certainly had their chances in this game. Boy, leadoff men on in every inning except for the 4th. They're only able to score in the 1st.
8 men stranded by Houston so far. Molina leads it off. He doubled to left in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Lopez delivers strike 1. Wilton pitched in the 6-2 win Tuesday night over Pittsburgh, giving up 1 hit, 1 run in 1/3 of an inning. Throws that one for a strike to Molina and gets ahead in the count, 0-2.
Wilton, 26 years of age. He's from Nicaragua. Settling in nicely. Just a handful of appearances for the Astros last year after being called up. Waiver claim from the Padres, right?
Yeah. His last 26 games, his ERA is 3.13. He has gotten into a nice groove in some tight spots in the bullpen now. Crack bat roller goes out to Keppinger. Well, that's a good way to start. Get ahead in the count, break the guy's bat, a little roller to second.
Yeah, this is kind of a GM's dream, you know, to get a guy like Lopez, you know, a waiver claim doesn't cost you a lot of money. He's still a young player, so he's not making a lot of money and settling in, pitching effectively, and pitching some important innings now. And, you know, that will be the case for the next couple seasons. You know, not arbitration eligible until he has 3 years under his belt.
Tyler Green looks at ball one.
As long as he stays healthy, because I think we were saying the same things last year about Alberto Arias.
True.
He's been on the shelf all year.
Bouncer goes foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Players getting ready to head for various destinations for a little short vacation before the season resumes. Some teams will be playing Thursday and others pick up on Friday. The Astros have a Thursday night workout in Pittsburgh after traveling there that day, and then they'll open up Friday night. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They'll take on the Buccos, and they've swept them in both of their 3-game series here this season. So first trip to Pittsburgh begins on Friday night with Brett Myers and Zach Duke. Bud Norris will pitch Saturday night against Ross Ollendorf. Sunday it's Roy Oswalt and Paul Maholm.
Well, I like the idea of slotting Bud in between Brett and Roy, because Bud typically takes a lot of pitches to get into the 6th inning or so. So he's going to need the bullpen. Not every time, but you just assume he's going to need the bullpen more so than Myers and Oswald would do. So it's a good idea to put those guys, put Bud in between those 2 innings eaters, if you will.
Felipe Paulino will be slotted back in at some point in that rotation. And Wandy. So pitchers usually get extra rest here over the break, and then they go hard for weeks and months after that to finish out the season. On Astros Live postgame, Jeff Bagwell will be addressing the media. We'll carry that for you today after the game, as he prepares to don the number 5 again. 3-2. That's happened, of course, throughout baseball several times, but nonetheless, pretty unusual for a guy whose number has been retired to come back and put it on again in a different capacity. Nobody else can wear it. Through the left side. A 1-out single for Tyler Green. Now Randy Wynn comes in handy for Tony La Russa, entering in the double switch in the 8th spot where the pitcher was batting. Wynn, a well-traveled switch-hitting outfielder, begins the day at 236. He has no homers, 2 runs batted in. He's had 55 at bats. He's hitting better from this left side of the plate, 270. Now Brad Mills makes the walk to the mound. They want to turn him around and have him face a lefty. Give him a better shot at a double play and put him up at the plate from the weaker side.
That's an interesting decision here. You turn the hitter around to his weaker side, but I think you're more likely to get the ground ball with Lopez on the mound.
He's going with the lefty Tim Burdack with the score. St. Louis 3, Houston 2. Back in a moment.
us a line for the 2010 Major League Baseball All-Star Game as the best of the American League take on most of the National League's top players. Don't miss the action Tuesday, July 13th, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5:30 in Newfoundland. Wow. It's on Fox. This one counts.
Great job on the promo. Tim Burdack is 1-0 with a 4.64 ERA. He probably heard you all the way down there. You were so inspired.
This one counts.
Yeah.
They've all counted.
They have all counted. That's a part of the lore and tradition of this sport. Burdack now facing Wynn as a right-handed batter. Will be facing a hitter who is hitting 167 from this side of the plate. And he would absolutely love a double play ball here with Green, the runner, on at first and 1 out. Also wants to keep the runner close.
And we talked about the advantages of Burdack versus Lopez, and Lopez being more of a ground ball guy, but that's the additional advantage you get with the lefty out there, a little bit tougher to run on.
And he's working very hard on Tyler Green. Wynn opened the season with the New York Yankees. He played in 29 games for them with a .213 batting average. Wynn hoping to break that string of the most games played without making the playoffs. Highest active streak in the majors, 1,654 games without being in a playoff series. A very versatile outfielder, excellent defensive player over the years. Now 36 years old. Slowly hit. Sanchez hurries to second. Keppinger has no shot at a double play, but they get Green, 2 outs. In Wynn's career, he's been a good base stealer.
Tony La Russa is going to make another move here, and then Ryan's going to come up and hit for Schumacher.
Tony pulling out all the stops now with the lefty pitcher in the game. And calling on Ryan, who's had only a 195 batting average for 215 at bats, 2 homers, 16 runs batted in. In his career, he's 265 as a pinch hitter. This season, 1 for 2. Ryan had surgery on his right wrist in January, and that gave him a late start to spring training.
Now, usually, the manager who's trailing in games like this is the one that kind of makes one move after another to try to get back in it. But Tony La Russa probably feels like because he has Aaron Miles on the bench as a switch hit, he's kind of like 2 players, so he can afford to make this move and let Ryan hit for Schumacher and try to pad their lead.
He hits it in the air near the left field line. 3 players giving chase. Sanchez cuts over with the angle behind Feliz for the 3rd out. Burdack does well. It's no runs a hit. The man left for the Redbirds. They lead it 3-2 in the 7th. 3 Astros 2, bottom of the 7th inning, and a slider is in for strike one on Jeff Keppinger, who is 2 for 3. Kyle McClellan comes out for his 2nd inning of work. Meanwhile, it's Brendan Ryan at shortstop, and Tyler Green has moved from short to second base. That works for strike 2 to Keppinger. McClellan got 2 outs in the 6th inning. Blake Hawksworth went 5 1/3. He allowed 7 hits, 2 runs, walking 3, fanning 2, and he's in line for win number 3 of the year.
Kind of interesting. Hawksworth, fastball, changeup pretty much all afternoon long, and McClellan comes in. He's throwing a bunch of breaking pitches. He's got a good heater though too. Not bad at all.
With that growth, foul away. Well, he has 13 holds this year. He's not given up a run at home for the Redbirds. Got his 13th hold Wednesday night, going an inning and 2/3. Up the middle, it rolls to Ryan's left. Ryan will not be able to play it. It trickles out into center field. Keppinger's 3rd hit of the game. He's gotten his hits in bunches this year.
Reaches out and pokes that one up the middle. Ryan throws him out if he gloves it.
Yeah.
Freshly into the game. Not able to make the play. Astros have the tying run aboard.
That's the 8th 3-hit game for Keppinger to lead the club. And now it's Lance Berkman. He has a couple of hits himself, an infield hit to 3rd and a single to right. Carlos Lee on deck as the Astros try to strike from down by a run. Ryan shading up the middle. That's ball 1.
You know, as rough as this season has been for Lance, if you look at the numbers, he is clearly still the best offensive player on this team when you look at on base and slugging. I mean, obviously you want more out of him because what he means in that lineup.
One and 1. He is 0 for 3 in his career with a walk against McClellan. Astros have 8 hits to the Cardinals 5. Brandon Lyons warming up for Houston. It's 1 and 2. McClellan's pitched 3 times and has not allowed a run to the Astros this season.
Back foot curveball.
Little roller goes foul.
He wanted that ball down and in. Molina did, and McClellan left it out over the plate. But he has a good tight breaking ball. Catches a lot of hitters out on that front foot.
Lyon is warming up.
And this day before the All-Star game, it's like the manager has a whole bunch of toys because there's plenty of rest coming after today. So you use guys in roles that maybe you normally would not. Make a quicker move to the bullpen than you would if you got a string of games coming up. Let's go for it day.
Yeah. Shoot the works.
It's the kind of day where, depending on the situation, you might even find a starting pitcher or 2 with their spikes on available for an inning of work if need be.
Berkman chops one slowly. Charge is a missed tag and out at first. Green tried to slap the tag on Keppinger and missed. A 1 out, Keppinger to second.
That was interesting because Keppinger was slowing down because he wanted to make sure he didn't get tagged. But by slowing down, he almost got tagged. As a base runner here, you're saying, don't get tagged. But he probably could have run by that ball. And he put himself in jeopardy by slowing down. Not an easy play because you can't get hit by it either. So he has to stop and restart and just narrowly avoiding the tag there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I don't think there's any other way he could have played it with that second look. I think he had to break it down to make sure he didn't get hit by that ground ball.
Carlos Lee has a man at second. Ball 1 to Lee, who's 1 for 3 with an RBI. He is 2 for 5 in his career against McClellan. Hunter Pence on deck.
Chances all afternoon long for the Astros to drive in the tying run. Not been able to do so far. Carlos was up in the 5th after Keppinger and Berkman single. First and second, nobody out, and Carlos, Hunter, and Feliz went down in order.
Cardinal staff with its ERA of 3.41, the second best in the league, trying to hold off the Astros here with a 3-2 lead in the 7th.
Go ahead, big man. Oh, look at that 2-0 equalizer.
You know it. 2-1. Johan Santana and the Mets shut out Atlanta 3-0. Santana going to 7-5, beating Derek Lowe.
Santana pitched a shutout last time.
His ERA is down to 2.98. K-Rod got his 21st save, and Ike Davis hit home run number 11. So that narrows the lead for Atlanta over the Mets to 4 games at the All-Star break. Lee takes strike 2.
Perhaps more importantly, it cost me a loss because Lowe's on my fantasy club. I just can't afford to have that.
You might have to ponder a deal here at the break.
7 innings of shutout ball for Santana tonight. This afternoon, rather. 5 hits, 3 walks, 5 punch-outs.
Third baseman Lopez charges, short hop play. 2 outs. Now Hunter Pence. He had the RBI single in the first. He's 1 for 3.
Another one in Philadelphia. 0-0 into the 10th last night, and 11th. However, that thing turned out. 1-0 Philly lead now. Reds batting top of the 9th. Brad Lidge in there again. He has really struggled. Kid for the Reds last night took a perfect game into the 9th.
Yes, he did. The Astros 2 for 13 with men in scoring position. Pence with a hit to the left side. He gets away from Ryan. Stop sign for Keppinger will prevent him from scoring. He had already been stopped when that ball rolled away from Ryan. And then it was too late to get him fired up again. Pence is 2 for 4. And Ryan just couldn't get a grip on that ball.
Yeah, fans upset because if Keppinger goes the whole way and Dave Clark sends him, he scores. But as a third base coach, you can't anticipate that right there. The fact that Ryan couldn't pick up the ball. And if you come down the line and he picks it up cleanly, he's going to throw you out. There's no option here. The fans are upset. There's no way you can send him on this ball. Unless you're Nostradamus down there coaching third and you know that Ryan's not going to pick it up.
Or unless you don't care about working tomorrow.
And Nostradamus just, he comes at too high a price. You'd have to sign him to multi-year, $15 million to coach third for you.
2 men on now for Feliz. Feliz 0 for 3. That's 9 hits for the Astros to 5 for St. Louis. Castro's on deck.
Need a hero.
This would be a good time to find one.
Tough first half for Pedro Feliz, showing signs of life lately. He really cap off this nice little recent run with a big knock here.
Last 2 times he's gone out on 1 pitch. Pence takes off. No throw. There's a fake by Molina, and nobody went to cover. So Hunter gets into second base.
Interesting play here by the Cardinals with Molina, such a weapon behind the plate. But they didn't want their infielders on the move. They like their chances with this McClellan versus Feliz matchup. Even though a base hit now likely gives the Astros the lead.
Yeah, it could be very important. 1-1. Feliz came up with runners at first and second in the first inning and struck out. Came up with runners at second and third in the 5th inning, grounded out. This fly ball is hanging in left center. Holiday there, and John Jay with the catch. In the 7th, no runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. 3-2 Cardinals through 7. To youth baseball, visit ChevyTexasBaseball.com. 3-2. The Cardinals lead it. Brandon Lyon comes out of the Houston bullpen. He'll be pitcher number 4 for Brad Mills today. Tim Burdack in 2/3 of an inning allowed no hits, no runs with no walks, no strikeouts. Wilton Lopez 1/3 of an inning, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. And now you see Lyon's numbers.
And talk about Brandon being the busiest Astros pitcher this year. So finished the first half of the season with 41 games under his belt. In terms of games played, it's more than a half. This is what, 88, 89 for the Astros?
This is 89.
89.
Jason Mott in the bullpen. Lopez ready to bat. Cracked bad liner off the glove of Keppinger into right field for a Lopez looping single. And he's now 1 for 4 in the game.
Off the end of the bat, and Keppinger times his jump, just can't quite haul it in. Now Tony decides to play it here. You bunt him over. Probably walk Pujols. MJ's been swinging it really well. He's hitting .382 for 68 major league at bats this year. Looks to me like you can pitch Jay in. The way he swings, he kind of curls those arms behind him, drifts into the ball a little bit. I think you could tie him up inside with good fastballs, and in line with that cutter that he throws to lefties, that should be an effective pitch against him.
Well, that would figure. You don't want John Jay with a lot of time to deliberate. He bunted his way on in the 4th, and that led to a big 3-run inning. He's 1 for 3. Takes strike 1 from Brandon Lyon. Frustrating day for the Astros hitters with 10 men left on base. Cardinals got 3 in that 1 inning. The 4th, the Big Bang Theory, is alive and well in this ball game today. They haven't had much going other than that 4th inning. Strike to Jay, and that makes it 0-2.
And whereas the home run that Holiday hit the other night off Bud Norris was really crushed, the one he hit today wasn't hit that well at all. So frustrating day for the Astros hitters, but doubly so for Wandy as he replays that inning. Holiday could just as easily pop that pitch up. It wasn't in a bad spot.
In the dirt, there's a good block by Castro on the breaking pitch. It's 1-2.
And Jason, a big man, but he plays small behind the plate. Gives you a good small target. He's got quick feet. Moves around well back there. Watch the feet as he slides over in position and then squares up. Keeps that upper body tilted down to control the ball in the dirt. Just take the glove out of play. Don't try to pick it. Try to pick it. That's the one that kicks off the heel of your glove and rolls 30 feet. And the guy walks into second base.
I like what he did with that mitt. He dropped it down, plugged the hole between his legs. Broken bat. It goes past Berkman. Keppinger to the pitcher line covering. A lot of concentration required on that with the barrel of the bat flying. And Lopez gets to second on the ground out from 4-1. Berkman was diving. The barrel of the bat going the other direction. And Keppinger got it over the line.
Not sacrificing, but essentially did the same thing with his shattered back ground ball. There is that cutter in on the hands of Jay. He could do nothing with the ball. Good recognition there by Lyon, realizing that it's his responsibility to cover first base. Sometimes you see a ball hit that far off the line and you give up on it. Okay, second baseman's going to handle that one. You're trained to break towards first on any ground ball to the right side.
Now it appeared that the question was asked to Brandon Lyon, would you prefer pitching to Pujols or walking him here? And it looks like it's going to be 4 wide ones. Pujols is 3 for 8 against Brandon Lyon with 2 doubles in his career. He gets the free pass. This will be his 60th walk overall. And of those, 23 have been intentional now. Holiday will bat with runners at first and second and 1 out. Holiday with a 3-run homer in the 4th, 1 for 3. Lyon last pitched in the Wednesday win over Pittsburgh, 6-3, getting his 16th hold. Now trying to hold on to a 1-run deficit, facing Holiday. Holiday is 6 for 18 against Lyon. 1 homer and 3 doubles. Strike 1 call. Aaron Miles is on deck. Pitcher spot is due up next.
We talked about this the other night. It's not, folks think it's an easy decision to walk Pujols in that situation. It is not. Holiday, a very good hitter as well.
He went. There's the call by Mike Everett, and it's 0-2. Lyon lost back-to-back appearances in San Diego last weekend on Friday and Sunday. That went off the mitt and a play at third. No throw by Castro as Lopez took off when he saw that ball hit the dirt. Pujols held on at first. Wild pitch.
A good job there by Lopez. Doesn't always exhibit the best instincts on the bases, but the key there is just stay with the pitch. A lot of guys will start to retreat towards second base or to the base that they occupy as the pitch gets into the hitting zone. Take advantage of that ball in the dirt.
Swing and a miss. Great spot for that slider for a strikeout. 2 outs. Now Miles is being called back.
Yeah, you can't make a better pitch in that situation. Slider just sliding off the outside corner again. This is what we've been talking about with Baggy last night and then again this afternoon. Holiday up there with an RBI situation in swing mode.
Colby Rasmus is being called upon to pinch hit. He came out of the game Friday night with a hamstring strain. And Rasmus, with a .281 batting average, 16 homers, 41 runs batted in, said he was available to pinch hit in this game beforehand. He's 2 for 5, including a home run this year as a pinch hitter, .208 lifetime.
He struck out a bunch this year, but overall the numbers are very good. 16 home runs. He showed a very quick bat the other night, turning on some fastballs.
Rasmus over second base. Pinch hit RBI single, 4-2. He comes off the bench and gives the Cardinals now a 2-run lead. Sounded like the bat was broken on that one. Lopez came around to score.
And Brandon tried to get ahead of him with a two-seamer, and he hit it off the end of the bat. Able to punch it into center field. That's a big swing of the bat there.
42 runs batted in for Rasmus, and La Russa had picked a good time to use him as a pinch hitter with 2 outs where he didn't have to worry about legging it out to try to beat a double play ball.
I think they're going to set a pitcher out there to run for him. Jaime Garcia.
Rasmus comes in, and Garcia, the pitcher, pinch running, so they save the position players. They still have Miles and LaRue remaining on the bench. Garcia, meanwhile, getting loose at first base before Molina bats. Dave McKay is probably telling him, hey, look, don't get hurt. Don't do anything foolish here. Pretty straightforward in this situation. 2 outs, runners at first and second. And Molina is 1 for 3, a double. Strike 1. Some managers won't use a pitcher to pinch run. Any pitcher, just a matter of policy. Don't want them getting hurt. Feel that they're a little bit out of their element. They don't do that much base running, and it's potentially risky, but in this case, certainly it's understandable.
Yeah, I think if you got a guy with half a brain and he knows not to put himself in harm's way.
There have been some nasty injuries, though, to every kind of player, but lined out on one hop to Sanchez. He gets it to Keppinger for the force play on Garcia. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left for the Redbirds. They lead it now 4-2 in the 8th.
Looks like we're working on a couple of more. They come out in bunches. Yeah. He's going for it. There'll be no corn on the cob for him for a while.
Maybe a smoothie for dinner. It's not that hot. And meanwhile, the bottom of the 8th inning in the air-conditioned environment here brings in Jason Mott. With now a 4-2 Cardinal lead. He's 3-2 with a 2.34 ERA.
A lot more of a power guy, mid-90s fastball, former catcher. Short arm delivery, kind of looks like a catcher when he throws out there. Striking out a better than a batter per inning pitch. It is awfully tough to hit. 208 the batting average against. 7th inning, so many ball games critical, and the Astros had an opportunity, could not come through, and now the Cardinals able to play out on him top half of the 8th, so the Astros have a little bit bigger hill to climb.
Jason Castro batting and taking ball 1. Mott pitched a clean inning last night in the 8th, getting Pence, Feliz, and Quintero, and he didn't have to labor. Threw only 10 pitches in that inning. 1 ball, 1 strike count. McClellan did well. 1 2/3 innings. 2 hits, no runs. No walks, 1 strikeout. Got the big out on Feliz after 2 hits in the 7th. It's 1-2. The Astros have left 10 men on base, 6 in scoring position. Mott just picked up his first blown save of the year Wednesday night. Gave up a 3-run homer to Dexter Fowler in Colorado. In the air and foul out of play. Still 1-2. Sanchez on deck. Pitcher spot is due up 3rd. Astros have a reliever warming up. Brad Mills, Al Pendrique thinking things through. It's Matt Lindstrom and Chris Sampson now warming up in the bullpen for the Astros. Castro looks at ball 2, and it's 2-2 to Jason.
Jason Michaels has been used in this game. Jason Bourgeois, Chris Johnson, Ozzie Navarro, Humberto Quintero available on the bench to pinch hit.
There's Johnson. Out into center field. John Jay moves for it and takes care of out number 1. Sanchez singled in the 2nd inning, grounded out, and then put down a sac bunt. A low scoring season series between these two clubs. Low batting averages, low ERAs. St. Louis ERA against Houston 2.41 for the first 8 games. Houston's ERA 3.09. Kind of like a return to the 1960s. And we chatted with Mike Shannon about that on Astros Live tonight. He led the Cardinals with 79 runs batted in one year. Now Johnson comes out to the on-deck circle. The pitcher's spot due up next. And it's ball 1. San Francisco leads at Washington 6-2. The Nationals are batting in the last of the 9th inning.
Giants have started to score some runs.
What do you think's going on there?
I don't know.
2 balls, no strike.
They're kind of checking up their lineup the last time we saw them. Aubrey Huff's having a heck of a year.
Very good year. Well, Buster Posey has really emerged as an offensive threat lately. And he's now catching a lot. Traded Benjamin Molina to Texas. Cliff Lee gave the Rangers a complete game last night, but he gave up 6 runs. So that didn't go real well when he was giving up those 3 home runs, I believe, in that game.
Yeah,
there's a 4-pitch walk.
I mean, Cliff Lee's a very good pitcher. He's going to have success wherever he goes, I believe. But that's a big change. You go from that ballpark in Seattle, one of the most pitcher-friendly parks in the game, to the one in Arlington, which is certainly a hitter's ballpark. ERA's bound to take a hit, but it shouldn't really affect him too much in the win column, the way that team scores runs. What's going on here?
They thought it was ball 3, And the umpire said ball 4, but Mott looked in and he put up 3 fingers, and Pujols came running in. Now La Russa, and Molina said no, it's ball 4. So that's the end of that. And now we get Johnson pitch hitting for Lyon. So the potential tying run comes to the plate. Chris Johnson trying to snap an 0 for 16. Batting average 286. He's had 77 at bats with the Astros. No homers, 8 runs batted in.
The situation here calls for an aggressive approach from CJ. Coming off that bench, you got a guy that throws 97 miles an hour. I think you up there looking for a fastball. If you get one close to where you like it, go ahead and take a whack. Just like that. That came up empty, but good approach.
Yep. Brandon Lyon in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, 1 run. He had 1 walk, it was intentional, and 1 strikeout. It's no balls, 2 strikes for Johnson. Chris went 3 for 3 with 2 doubles at San Diego last weekend, and then 0 for 16 since then. But nonetheless has shown the ability to hit some good pitches. Hit 438 on the road trip, driving in 5. Bounce back toward the mound. Mott lets it roll a little bit and then throws him out. Sanchez to second, 2 outs now for Michael Bourne. Bourne is 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Jason Mott from Fort Huron, Michigan, and Iona College, converted to pitching from catching in 06. Being drafted in 03 by the Redbirds. He gave up home runs in St. Louis May 11th to Lance Berkman and Hunter Pence. But his other 3 appearances against the Astros have produced scoreless ball for Mott this year. Bourne taps it foul. There's strike 1 to Michael.
We've been pounding Michael in with fastballs all series. I think he's been looking in there, and he's had some decent swings. Just hasn't been able to get the head out in front of that fastball. Popped up a couple of times and we've been able to get it in on him.
Ryan Franklin, the Cardinal closer, had a rough time in Colorado. Broken bat. Ryan over for the catch on the looping liner to end the 8th inning with no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. 4-2 Cardinals after 8. Astros in the bottom of the ninth have Keppinger, Berkman, and Lee due up. Sampson trying to hold this 2-run deficit with a 1-0 record and a 5.68 ERA.
He's got the bottom of the Cardinal order due up. Green, then Randy Wynn came in the double switch. He's now in the 8th hole. Brendan Ryan, the shortstop, batting 9th. He's with that 5.68 ERA. He's made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 appearances since coming off the disabled list. Scoreless baseball, 5 of those 7, including the last 4.
Friday night, 1/3 of an inning for Chris. Came in with a couple of men on base and got Molina. Now it's Green with an intentional walk and a single in this game. He got jammed and he fouled it back. Strike 1. Phillies beat Cincinnati 1-0. Cole Hamels going to 7-7 with that shutout win with a save from Brad Lidge, number 6. And he beat Matt Maloney, his 0-2. Another tough loss for the Reds.
4-game sweep heading into the break. They really had an opportunity to take advantage of a slumping Cardinal team. Not been able to gain any separation. Phillies really not swinging the bats that well, but their pitching's been outstanding.
Line by Sanchez into left field. He almost got a glove on it. Green on for the second time. Randy Wynn follows. He bounced into a forced play in the 7th inning. So the Cardinals have a chance to pull to within 1 of front-running Cincinnati. Right now they're even in the loss column with 41. Jose Oquendo flashing signs to Win, and the runner at first, Green. That was hit number 8 for the Cardinals. The Astros have 9. Feliz is in close at third. Win bunting. Castro takes a look at second, throws to Keppinger just in time at first. Sacrifice, 1 out.
Castro got out there in a hurry on this ball. He took a pretty long look down there at second, but you can't look too long. You're going to lose your option at first base. He had a notion to go to second base. Green, one of the speedier runners, perhaps their fastest guy. I think he made the right play.
Wynn sacrifices him over, and now it's Brendan Ryan batting. He fouled out earlier. Strike to Ryan. He's been a major disappointment this year after seizing the shortstop job last year for the Redbirds. Ryan hit .292 last season. Played shortstop well. Lines this to left. Carlos Lee backs up. Started in, and he altered his course. 2 outs. Felipe Lopez singled in the 8th inning and came around to score. He's 1 for 4. Boston won at Toronto 3-2. Daisuke Matsuzaka the winner. He's 6-3. Beat Jesse Litch, who's 0-4. Papelbon got his 20th save. Sampson delivers, and it's strike 1. Madison Bumgarner and the Giants won 6-2 at Washington over Levon Hernandez. Ryan Wilson got save number 23. Jay is on deck. Hasn't been much of a home field advantage in this Astros Cardinals series so far.
Been a home field disadvantage.
Yes, it has. Astros swept the Cardinals in St. Louis in their second series there after losing 2 of 3 in the first one. Cardinals are trying to win 2 out of 3 this weekend in Houston, and it's 2-1.
Well, the way the pitching matchup set up this weekend, I really thought the Astros would win 2 out of 3. I knew Friday night would be tough with Wainwright going to the hill, but you had a pretty good field for that one with Bud Norris going and the success he's had against the Cardinals, but more so yesterday and today. Brett Myers, he came through and won, and Wandy was very good today, but the Astros not able to get much done against Hawksworth.
Liner, Carlos Lee to his right. for the third out, and it's no runs ahead. A runner stranded, bottom of the ninth coming for the Astros. Keppinger, Berkman, and Lee. St. Louis. By your Texas Ford dealers at the 2010 F-150 and by the Progressive Insurance Group. Tony La Russa's club trying to make it 2 wins in a 3-game series at air-conditioned Minute Maid Park over the weekend, has repositioned some people. Aaron Miles is in the game now at second base. So he's used everybody among position players except Jason LaRue, the backup catcher. And the closer comes in at that same time, Ryan Franklin. Keppinger, Berkman, and Lee do up in the bottom of the ninth and a 4-2 lead.
And Franklin 15 out of 16 in save opportunities this year, 3.74 ERA. He was an all-star last year. He's coming off that dreadful performance in Colorado where he allowed 6 runs in a third of an inning. And he's kind of fun because like so many closers that come out of that bullpen just blowing gas. And he's got a little bit of everything. Fastball, splitter, cutter, curveball.
His first appearance since that blow up in Colorado. And now it's Keppinger batting. Taking ball 1 upstairs. Keppinger has a 3-hit game. 3 for 4. Franklin puts one in there for a strike, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Franklin has pitched scoreless baseball twice this year against the Astros. Once in mid-April, once in mid-May, both at St. Louis. He got a save in a 2-1 game there. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Keppinger is 3 for 6 in his career against this veteran right-hander who's 37 now. Drafted in the 23rd round by Seattle in '92. From Fort Smith, Arkansas. Went to Seminole Junior College. He was a starter earlier in his career. JD talked about his stuff. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and last year he tied for 3rd in the league in saves with 38. Had only 5 blown saves all year. When he got a save in that 2-1 St. Louis win over the Astros in mid-April, he retired Feliz, Lee, and Pence in order. Bouncer Ryan. 1 out for Franklin. Jason Mott worked a hitless 8th inning with a walk, no strikeouts. Jeff Bagwell speaks with the media about his new job as Astros hitting coach, which begins after this game. Lance Berkman is 2 for 4. Thanks to Jeff for joining us not only today, but on Saturday nights for home games. We really enjoyed working with him.
I was getting ready to turn the whole thing over to him. I was looking forward to Saturdays off. I was going to proposed that. Boom. He goes down into uniform.
Wow.
Killing me.
Well, things do change quickly in sports. Berkman's 3 for 6 with a homer off Franklin. That's a foul ball. Job now to get on for Carlos Lee with the Astros down by 2.
Yeah, it would be a nice way to head into the All-Star break with a nice kind of miracle finish come from behind W.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, there's no doubting the fact that if the Astros are to make a quantum improvement in the second half of the season, that Lee and Berkman are probably going to be at the heart of it. And good pitching. Whoa, the bat escapes his hands and goes into the seats. It's 1-2.
An off-speed pitch and way out in front and loses the grip on the finish. Watch out. I think everybody's okay.
Not only okay, but happy.
A little bruise, which will help tell the story.
Yeah, it's a part of this day for him. Berkman is down on strikes. 2 outs now for Franklin. When he got the blown save in Colorado, it was the first time all year the Cardinals have led after 8 innings and lost the game.
Back-to-back changeups. Changeup, split finger pitch, one or the other. Hey, look at that. That's so you don't get lost on your way home. Follow the arrow.
Carlos Lee has faced Franklin quite often, probably back to Franklin's starting pitching days in Seattle. Carlos with 34 career at-bats against Ryan. He's 1 for 4 with an RBI in this game. 265 lifetime with 2 homers off Franklin. Into right field. That'll get Hunter Pence to the plate, representing the potential tying run with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Lee 2 for 5 in this game. Feliz on deck. Pence singled in a run in the 1st. Got an infield hit to short in the 7th. Then he stole a base. Miles at second. Over to Pujols, and the Cardinals win 2 of 3. They're only 1 game out of first place. Franklin nails it down for Hawksworth, who goes to 3 and 5. Franklin getting save number 16. And the Astros got 2 in the 1st, but then they did not score again. They left a dozen men on base in this game. 7 in scoring position. Final score, St. Louis 4, Houston 2.